What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 4. This is going to be Game 2 of the best of 2 between HEHE Never United and AlbumSheet. Currently, AlbumSheet standing 1-0 in this series after just crushing through HEHE's Huskar pick with a lot of crit damage, physical from the Phantom Assassin, and a lot of pure damage from the Silencer. Turns out they're pretty good against Huskar's magic resistance, but hopefully HEHE, they're going to be switching gears and trying something out different this game. We do see some different bans, but we'll see how that pans out a little bit later on. Here on HeflaTV 1, we're going to be bringing you this final game of the day. I'm Mike Loris, and I have Coucher here as well. What do you think, man? What do HEHE have to do different?
Get the IO. AlbumSheet, do not ban the IO. Well, of course, it already looks like they were not amused with that Huskar player, the stand-in for them. So they switched stand-ins. They start with an Ogre, though, although the IO was left in the pool. I don't think AlbumSheet is a team that runs the IO all that often. But Ogre Magi for HEHE is definitely going to be a strong contender already. They might be looking at Ogre Medusa, for example, now. Although AlbumSheet, why they banned the Invoker, I have no clue at all. I mean, I just don't know what could be the sickest combo with the Invoker that you have to be so afraid of.
Yeah, it wasn't banned last game either, I don't think. So, I mean, it wasn't picked then. Why would you think it's so important now? It doesn't really make much sense unless they go for something really weird right off the bat. Okay, Zeus first pick. That's Dota, guys. I mean, that's where we're at right now. I still think the Invoker ban doesn't make much sense, even if they are going for something weird like this, but where do you go from here? What's the game plan if you pick up Zeus first?
Nature's Prophet Spectre, although I think you maybe could have picked up a Nature Prophet instead of the Faceless Void then immediately. That, of course, might have made it so that HEHE are going to ban out the Spectre 100% just to prevent the additional global. But, I mean, the Nature Prophet ban, it just made perfect sense from HEHE. AlbumSheet, they left no just option at all to just guess, like, oh, what might AlbumSheet go for?
And now I think AlbumSheet are going to be wishing they had an Invoker, another global skill to add to their repertoire. The Faceless Void pickup is certainly no Spectre, so that's going to be two really hard carries if they really want to run that. I'm trying to think, is the global strat the only one you can really go for if you pick up Zeus first, or are they just going to transition this into a very standard lineup plus Zeus? I mean, that's possible. They have Witch Doctor, Faceless Void, and that's a nice little combination right there. It looks like they might just play this normally after kind of just trying to mess HEHE up a little bit.
I mean, to be honest, they maybe were expecting, for example, the IO to come out, maybe even IO to go into the mid lane as it's HEHE after all. And Zeus, you get that level 5, level 3 Lightning Bolt, and what can an IO really do? He's just going to get crushed by that spell. Well, most heroes would. So we'll see. AlbumSheet, they can definitely go for the standard route now. Just have the Witch Doctor. I thought maybe go for a Skyrive Mage, Ancient Seal into Zeus spam, plus of course Mystic Flare with the Faceless Void would have made sense.
Oh, HEHE, they're going to slam the Silencer right away, so the IO is currently without partner, but I think HEHE, that's fine with them, as picking up the Silencer versus Zeus, Faceless Void, and Witch Doctor going to be a lot more of a clear pick than the last game. I thought last game the Silencer pick was okay, but nothing extraordinary. Here you have just so much potential value, assuming you get your skills off in time. However, if you are aggressed upon, Silencer is going to very quickly drop to the bolts. Silencer, IO, both very vulnerable in that regard, and AlbumSheet, they're once again going to go for the tankiness heroes. Witch Doctor, Abaddon, I mean, still, it worked for them last game, so you might as well just do it again.
They might go for it, although Abaddon, he's just one. I like that hero overall, but I dislike his this ability to go for the early rotations, for example. So with the hero, or together with the Witch Doctor, they might be looking at an aggressive tri-lane once again. At least, I think that's what they're going to go for. Otherwise, the lanes might just end up a little bit too passive for them. Witch Doctor, not the greatest roamer either, because Paralyzing Cask isn't that just reliable of a stun. So, aggressive tri-lane potential to come out with Witch Doctor, Abaddon plus 1, maybe even the Faceless Void. Although against the Silencer might be a little bit scary, because if you start just losing the tri-lane, start giving away intelligence, Silencer might completely snowball. But we shall see. HEHE, are they going to pick up like a casual IO partner now? The Tiny, Chaos Knight, something like that? Since HEHE, they have run the IO mid lane so damn often, they don't even need that just dual lane sort of thing really. But we'll see.
It's a possibility. I mean, Tiny is fantastic against these really squishy heroes from AlbumSheet, and Craggy Exterior is so great versus Faceless Void. Like, it's sickening how well that works. So they could just choose to go for that regardless, or just pick up another supporty hero in that Tree and Protector. So this is definitely going to be a vastly different game from HEHE. With the IO is going to be already changing the field, but I mean, the Tree and Protector, he's really awkward here because he's most likely going to be played as support with Ogre, I want to say, and even if they're not, they still have 2 melee heroes. I mean, AlbumSheet have 2 melee heroes as well, but Faceless Void has a lot more mobility. Abaddon is super defensive as well. So yeah, I don't really know what could tie all this together for HEHE. Again, you mentioned that they run IO mid occasionally. It's really hard to predict how they continue on with that.
It's going to be an IO tri-lane now. IO, Ogre, and Treant with Living Armor, IO, healing up double the 2 heroes, I don't know.
The value.
The value indeed. As AlbumSheet, they're picking up a Medusa for themselves. HEHE, they might have gone for it, I mean, having the Ogre after all. But got denied. AlbumSheet banning out the Necrophos as well, so denying that heal combination. Necrophos IO is actually so hard to take care of, especially if the Living Armor would be there as well. So AlbumSheet, they have some pretty nice late game now with the Medusa. Some decent enough early game and just teamfight control with the Faceless Void. Although the silencer, the global silence, might come into play just as it did in the last game. Of course, AlbumSheet, they were the ones wielding the silencer that game. But I mean, I have my doubts that the silencer will be as successful as the last game, just because the silencer, he had a pretty crazy amount of farm.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for HEHE to ensure the silencer that same amount of farm. Obviously not exactly the same, but similar amounts of farm, let's say. So if that doesn't happen, then AlbumSheet, though they do have a lot of late game now with the Medusa pickup as their last, their early game lockdown is actually pretty lacking. It's mostly going to be all in the hands of the Zeus. Like, Zeus has got to take control of this game and just hold on to it, never let go. And with that Templar Assassin pick, it's going to be so much more difficult for the Zeus to do that. TA is a fantastic hero versus Zeus. You abuse his lack of movement speed with your own. You could burst him down. You block his very large bursty chunks of damage. I love this last pick for HEHE, and hopefully it's going to be laned against Zeus, and hopefully they can get the correct read on that.
It's a pretty smart choice for Templar, for HEHE, that is. Although that means that they are a little bit maybe stun heavy, but the slow should more than make up for it. AlbumSheet, it's not like they have too many stuns themselves. Really only the Paralyzing Cask and the Lightning Bolt for the mini stun. Chronosphere, of course, but that's an ultimate. HEHE, they're gonna have the Overgrowth just the same. And AlbumSheet, they really have nothing to just burn through the reflection at all.
It's going to be really hard for them to deal with this Templar Assassin. Outside of, you know, catching her and then maledicting her and death warding her, I mean, that's a pretty good tool, I guess. But if you really want to commit that much to it, then fine, you probably deserve to get the kill anyway. So, yeah, the Templar Assassin really just ties everything together for HEHE. And they have not only to burn through the refraction, but also burn through living armor. So it's going to be really hard for AlbumSheet. They have to just, I think, just turtle this game out. I mean, they have a Faceless Void and a Medusa. If you get farm on those two, yeah, Zeus isn't going to be the best hero late game, but he will still have, eventually, I want to say, double Thunder God's Wrath, and that always hurts a ton. So we'll see as they load out into their lanes. We got Chomi on the Zeus, going to be heading towards mid. No surprises there. Bignum is going to be handling the off-lane solo Faceless Void. No Fear is going to be supporting, once again, as the Abaddon. Aloha Dance is going to be supporting, once again, as the Witch Doctor, and that leaves Ink Visitor as the carry Medusa. And
for HEHE, Chipsan will be playing on the Tree and Protector, leaving Nihis on the IO, who is going to rush a bottle for himself. Techno Roshan, the Ogre Magi, leaving Hava, HWA on the Templar Assassin mid lane, and the last one will be Mind Control, but we might see some action. Aloha Dance! Can he deny himself to Roshan, or can he outrun the Bleach Heat? Finally comes out from Treant, no idea why he even waited for that long, but I think they're going to chase him down anyway, boots or not, or actually, are the boots really going to be enough?
Not with the Fire Blast. One more punch is going to kill him. And that's not a good way to go, getting punched by a tree. So a very early first blood by HEHE. Aloha Dance, once again, going on the enemy side of the river as the Witch Doctor. It starts early, man. It starts really early.
This rune, we've seen just so many first bloods happen at the runes. It's crazy how much people are trying to gank at them. Do they have some sentries though? Doesn't look like it. And that's gonna be already a bottle coming out from Nihis. Just really beneficial first blood there. Gonna ensure Chip's hands boot to speed rather early as well on the Treant. But aggressive tri-lane with a farming Ogre. So early Aghanim Scepters maybe in the making, just lots of multicasting.
Yeah, right now the objective for HEHE is to just apply a lot of pressure and never let up. That's why you lane an Ogre like that. They're going to go for Chomi. Are they really going to dive a tower? It doesn't seem like a great idea because Chomi's going to turn out with a lot of lightning. The healing from Nihis is going to keep Chipsen alive, but that seems like not the best way to go. But with the Templar Assassin pick and now laning an Ogre in a core role and the Silencer laning solo up there as well, their goal right now is to just end the game before the Medusa and Faceless Void get big. And I think that's the right way to go. You never want to face these heroes late game if you can avoid it, and they're trying their best to avoid it. The only problem is that they have Treant and Io as their roamers, and those aren't that great at doing it, especially since Treant doesn't have boots level 1. If you had that, they might be able to get a little bit more done, but for right now, they can't actually do that much in order to get kills.
If they had level 6 on the Assassin with the Psionic Trap, maybe. But Treant, although he's pretty damn tanky with just his strength, his base armor is pretty bad, so diving with him isn't all that great. And top lane, Bignum, he went for the first point into backtrack, not going for the aggressive time lock route. So he's not gonna just plan on duking it out with the Silencer. And Silencer, thanks to that, might have a slight upper hand so far though. Faceless Void with Stout Shield is being annoying enough, but I think as Silencer gets more levels, should be able to overtake the Faceless Void and farm.
HEHE are playing this duo support so aggressively. Like, they're not actually doing anything, they're not putting much damage on the heroes, but they've been just staking out the enemy jungle perfectly, and that's forcing AlbumSheet to pull some of their supports to come help. But the problem is that their lanes aren't really going the best for HEHE right now. The Ogre is doing okay versus Medusa, actually doing very well. How is the Ogre doing this well versus Medusa? I guess the base damage is going to help him in that regard, but HEHE, if their lanes individually are not doing fantastically, then it doesn't really make a difference what the Treant Protector and Io are doing. So they have to be careful not to just roam too heavily and not get anything done in the meantime. So Techno Roshan is going to be kind of okay right now, but they're going to be playing this a little bit cautiously. Fire Blast onto Aloha Dance. They have a Leech Seed set up as well. This time there's Boots onto Chipsen. The huge base damage from the tree is going to come through. Naze is going to go down as well. Trying to bottle up is not going to have enough to survive. That is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Looks like that should be about it, and it should be a fairly even trade as well.
If only No Fear would have been there a little bit sooner on Yabadon. Oh, but Inquisitor gonna get stunned before the mana shield. Don't think it matters. Leech it. He doesn't have enough mana for it. He's gonna try to bottle up a little bit. No Fear dropping low. Can't Mist Coil. Maybe to deny himself. He's gonna get it as well, Chipsan. He's under the tower. Mystic Snake Nihis. He's caught. A nice Fire Blast onto Inquisitor will ensure the safety of both.
Right, there's just a nice deny from the Abaddon. Saw one deny from him last game in about the same situation, so got to make sure you have enough burst damage to kill him off. And when you're talking about an Ogre that's only level 3, burst damage is not really going to be there. It's at level 7 when he really gets to hit his stride. And Io, he's gone for the level 1 point in overcharge. No spirits in this game, which is, I guess, the build that you want to go for if you are going to be roaming around very heavily with the Treant, but yeah, it's pretty much just the Treant show right now. He's getting a little bit of help from the Io, but I don't know if he could do this. He's going to go for Chomi once again with the overcharge attack speed. He's instead going to try to go for the Courier. That's certainly worth it. Now going to change for Chomi. He's going to get the living armor, and the value is also going to heal the Treant at the same exact time. But yeah, that was actually a pretty deep, aggressive dive. Killing off a Courier makes it very much so worth it.
I thought the Courier is going to make it out at one point, but I guess the speed boost must have been on cooldown or used a little bit too late there. Nicely done. Of course, Courier way more worth than the actual kill was. Didn't even lose the IO in return. They got close, but Lightning Bolt didn't have enough mana. And Chomi, he's gonna get the double damage, but he's gonna get slowed down. Aloha Dance from the high ground. Paralyzing Cassie is waiting for the heroes to be close enough. Ignite comes down, and I don't think Reebok is gonna survive this. He goes down. But Aloha Dance gonna get fire blasted by Techno Roshan. Blue Banana wants the kill. He's just too damn tanky with the living armor. It's only level 1. But it's gonna be plenty. Aloha Dance gonna get chased down, I think. They have Ignite, but Techno Roshan wants to keep on to the mana Fire Blast. Now, oh, Soul Ring on cooldown. Can't slow down Inquisitor.
Oh, they're gonna get No Fear though. Chips in with those boots, just punch down that Abaddon. Abaddon does not have boots, so no chance he could outrun that massive tree with an Orb of Venom. It's a 6-to-1 kill advantage for HEHE, and they're just collecting kills left and right. Inquisitor is, well, is going to get a little bit of pressure from this Treant, but look at the damage that Treant's doing. Just 2 right clicks, and Inquisitor is so wounded right now. Chipsen is going to back off and be just fine. They got to wait for their IO to come back with a full bottle and continue the aggression. Up towards top lane, the lane that has been not touched by anyone, 25-10 versus 20 for 6. kind of to be expected. The Silencer is going to start pulling away with this lane, still with no points in Glaze of Wisdom, but he doesn't really need it. Curse of the Sound is so good versus Faceless Void, and he has Global Silence available whenever he has the mana to find it. Still, their objective is to just get farm and get the pressure on all the other lanes, and it's working very well, and they're not going to stop.
And why should they as well? Ogre, he has the Soul Ring. I thought that they might even go for Arcane Boots. He had the boot speed plus another 650 and not a single component for the Soul Ring before, just to help out really everybody. It's so damn often that I see games with IO and not a single pair of Arcane Boots on the team. It's just, why? At least they don't have a Medusa who can benefit that greatly. And oh, Chomi, he might get caught again. Never mind. TP's out. Although just having to TP out back to base for virtually nothing, it's not the best thing you can do.
Mind Control is going to suicide and take the fast way home, but No Fear on the bottom lane is in trouble. He's gonna Aphotic Shield and get a nice creep block. Don't think that was intentional, but here comes Aloha Dance. The cast's gonna bounce a couple times. Nihis is going to get it dragged away to a friggin' Mud Golem out of nowhere. Aloha Dance now get hit with the Fire Blast. Ignite is gonna be cooling down as well. Inquisitor is trying to focus down this IO, but now he's gonna be ignited. Stone Gaze, not enough mana as the mana shield was turned on. Now the Ogre is gonna beat down on this Medusa. At the same time, Global Silence and No Fear is being chased down once again by the Treant. That's gonna be Inquisitor's death. That should be No Fear's death as well. HEHE are going to escape with their IO, and now Aloha Dance is all alone. The cast's going to bounce through. Techno Roshan taking quite a bit of damage. Where's the help from the IO? The Living Armor is there. Chipson taking a lot of damage, but he will survive. No, he won't. He will go down at the end, but that's still a 2-for-1, or a 3-for-1 rather, in favor of HEHE, and I think they might be going for a little bit more down over towards mid. Chomi's running away from Templar Assassin. She won't find her target, but she might find the Zeus with the Courier. The Courier is going to survive. Zeus doesn't do that much damage. Now Hua is going to be right on top of this Thunder God, and I don't think he'll be able to survive unless he has the sickest of jukes. We need one more hit to get it out. Not going to be enough with the shield. In the meantime, the Wisp does go down in the bottom lane. They're going to continue to fight as Bignum does come in. Techno Roshan has no more mana, has no more health. He's going to go down. Suddenly, it's 5-9, and AlbumSheet turned it around after a couple of handy teleportations.
They just got a little bit overzealous there. Way too eager to go for the kills, or stood around in the bottom lane with just such low HP. Chronosphere was up as well at the time, so nicely done by Faceless Void coming in for the rotation like that. And Chipson, he wants to go for Inquisitor. Leech Sheet comes out. They're gonna have IO, I think, come tethering. Yes, that's exactly what they're gonna do. But Chomi, he's there with the Lightning Bolt. He has the Thunder God's Wrath as well. He's gonna pop it. Oh, yes, he is. Aloha Dance. He's gonna arrive. No Paralyzing Cast yet. Waiting for it. He's gonna get stunned up. And they're just giving away so many kills, but the multicast from Techno Roshan, never mind. Not gonna help enough. Lightning Bolt, Chomi, not close enough. So he escapes, but AlbumSheet, they're starting to just fight back.
Multicast onto the Witch Doctor. They may not be fighting back for very long as Chomi and Inquisitor both gonna get slowed down by that trap, and Chomi's gonna try to turn around for Nihis, but he does survive. The creeps will knock him off. Another multicast. Oh my god, Techno Roshan has been practicing his Ogre. Waz gonna try to dive the tower, but he does have a meld to survive this, and Refraction. Is there True Sight? There's no True Sight. I think it's about time to save the Templar Assassin, but she's going to instead try to save herself and going to get a kill on Aloha Dance. Not just yet, but she doesn't die either. Inquisitor's still behind this tower, and they're going to go behind it, really. The Courier's just going to die to the tower. No! It's going to be Chipson to draw the aggro off, and the Courier survives. The Templar Assassin lives as well. They get away from this without losing anybody yet, and they're still positioning themselves to dive this. And Techno Roshan's not too healthy. Hua's gonna get restored up, and they see Inquisitor. Slow him down. No multicast, not needed. That Medusa got crushed. And now Chipson knows where No Fear is. This Abaddon literally has no items, and I don't think he has any hope as well. No Fear is gonna be going down. And HEHE, the scary part is that they're fighting pretty much 4v5. The Silencer was not involved in any of this. He's just been farming the entire game.
And even Hava, although he's been semi-active, I want to say, in the Templar Assassin, still has the same amount of last hits that the Silencer does on the safe lane. This game is going so extremely well. They were faltering a little bit for a while, but just looking at the net worth, the Faceless Void is the only one who is higher than the Treant Protector, the lowest on HEHE. They're gonna get the slow one to Bignum. He has the Time Walk, of course, has even a Chronosphere. If he wants to turn it around, he wants to go for it, or does he really? The Chrono comes out, but the Wisp Spear is doing so much damage. Bignum still alive, gets out thanks to No Fear as well. They're gonna get the kill onto Nihis. Paralyzing Cast bounced out around perfectly. But it's only a support Wisp, so not a big deal for HEHE, but man, this Faceless Void, he almost died there.
Yeah, the balls were coming out one at a time, and he almost dodged death, or he almost died, but did narrowly manage to dodge death there. But that was, of course, HEHE diving very, very deep for really not too much purpose. Like, trying to get a kill on the Faceless Void like that without any hard stuns is pretty fruitless, and it was kind of ambitious of them to even try. But they're just so far ahead that they feel like they can get away with that. How far ahead are they? 7,500 gold, 4,000 experience. It's a pretty nice sum to be ahead by, and still their silencer has been untouched. I mean, not the scariest hero. If that was a Medusa who's been untouched, then I would say he had this game 100%, but they're still going to be looking for openings as the Templar Assassin is going to kill off the mid lane tower. She does have a Blink Dagger and Power Tread, so she's ready to go wherever the team needs her. And the Io Ogre, where are they going to go? They're setting up for bottom lane. Aloha Dance. He's not even moving. He's going to get Global Silence. No multicast yet, but you can't really escape this Ogre. He's going to beat you down. Nothing else is going to happen around the map, so just a nice clean relocate in and then relocate out to get a kill.
And oh, Hava, he wants to chase down Chomi as well. Chomi doesn't have a TP anymore, melted. Never mind, the Photic Shield, no fear. Gonna provide enough assistance. But Hava, he's been able to, oh, never mind, bottom lane Inquisitor has to pop the Stone Gaze. They're gonna petrify Ogre Mage high up, taking a lot of damage. There's the multicast. Big now he comes in, does he have the Chronosphere? No, he does not, but they don't even need it unless he can pull off something magical. Oh my god, they're gonna turn it around on the Big Nam. Thunderguard's Wrath. He's gonna get the kill anyway, but no fear, no ultimate. He's level 6, but he hasn't skilled it up. Misclick or what, I don't know. Inquisitor gonna be kept alive with the Mist Coil. No deny from no fear, but keeps Inquisitor alive, and that's what's most important.
Chipson's going to take a little bit of lightning damage before he leaves, but yeah, that Abaddon could have survived if he really just had the right skill build. Chomi's going to get jumped upon by Hua, and that's going to be enough to kill him off, and he's actually going to kill him off with the spill damage. That's pretty stylish. Now Aloha Dance is going to be in a lot of trouble. The cask, how useful is it? Not too useful. It's a triple kill for this Templar Assassin as HEHE collect big down in the bottom lane. It was a messy fight for sure, but they, for the most part, dodged the threat of Zeus by, they backed off when Zeus came in. He didn't have anyone to really dump his lightning into, and then they sent the TA in to assassinate him by herself. That's the exact ideal way to deal with the Zeus with HEHE's lineup, and it was just so well played for them. And they're going to take a tower off of this one. There is response from AlbumSheet. They're going to throw a snake, but Hoa wants right back in. Inquisitor, how tanky are you? You do not have Stone Gaze. You can get slowed down by the traps. There is a cask available, but they're not going to throw it just yet. This is only 3 heroes from HEHE, and they should be backing off soon. The Treant is going to get the overgrowth, and now he's going to try to run no fear. With the shield, he's going to get himself a little bit closer to the Treant, and the Treant looks like he will go down. The Templar Assassin is going to be revealed from the Chronosphere, and that's going to be her death as well. Nihis does not have enough mana to relocate this Templar Assassin out to safety, although he's going to try. It's only going to be him, and it's not even going to work. So that's going to be all 3 heroes dead. They don't even actually take the tower. I think HEHE just have to calm down just a little bit because they're kind of putting themselves into really bad situations that they could entirely avoid.
Holy crap, the difference that the Templar Assassin kill made. I got to see the fight recap without the Templar Assassin dying and now with. It's a 3,000 difference for both the gold and the XP, almost. About 2.8k, but still. Just the difference of the support heroes dying or a core hero. And suddenly, HEHE, they're not ahead with every single hero of AlbumSheet for net worth. Zeus and Faceless Void, they're peeking their heads up as well. Whereas before this fight, literally every single hero of HEHE, they were ahead of everybody on AlbumSheet. Inquisitor might still be in some trouble. Chipsine could have just scouted things with Nature's Skies, to be honest. He went for a Vladimir's offering as well, and Aloha Dance, he's gonna be so screwed.
Just the tree. They used Global Silence as well. Yeah, that was just to kill off the Witch Doctor. I don't know if that was entirely worth it, but the Witch Doctor with level 2 overcharge beating down with 100 damage is pretty terrifying if you're a Witch Doctor. There's nothing really you can do about that, even if you aren't silenced. If you are silenced, you're just completely screwed. So HEHE, they're going to continue to apply the pressure. They have to stop applying suicidal pressure, like diving tier 2s or near tier 3s is a bad idea. Techno Roshan is going to go for Big Num up on top. Is there a relocate? There is in 3 seconds. So if Techno Roshan gets jumped, I don't think AlbumSheet have enough to very quickly kill him off. Although Chomi does have level 4 Lightning Bolt, he actually has no static field, which is a very questionable Zeus build. Most of your damage comes out from that static field, as weird as it is to see. You can't really see how the damage works out, but that's just numerically how it works out, and he doesn't have any of that, instead going for Arc Lightning.
That's definitely weird, man. I don't think I've seen that build. Oh, double multicast on both Ignite as well as the Fire Blast. He's gonna come in solo though. Didn't bring anybody with him, weird enough. There's the Death Ward coming out. Oh my god, Techno Roshan, he's in no man's land. Gets another stun off. Doesn't get the multicast though. Hava finally arrives with a haste from Chronosphere. He just dodges it. Aloha Dance dropping low. Gonna go down to the last word. Chomi, he's forced to run out, as is No Fear. Ultimate already popped. Big Nam just TP's out. It's a 2-for-1 in the end. Still though, I mean, just Nihis, why the hell did he come in alone?
I have no idea, but you know what? It worked, so I'm not going to question him. He's definitely a superior IO player than I am. I'm absolutely freaking terrible at the hero, so I'm not going to second guess the plays of this hero. It worked out and really showed off the tankiness of the Ogre. Like, he dove straight through a death ward. He didn't care. And he actually just bought so much base for the rest of his team to come in. The Templar Assassin was assassinating people left and right. The one-man Chronosphere onto the Silencer definitely underwhelming. Now Inquisitor is in quite a bit of trouble. Here comes the damage. Stone Gaze is already out, however, and they're going to have to turn tail and book it, or at least back off before they turn stone. He's going to drop down. That means no more IO for this fight, but Desolator gets delivered halfway through. Now they're going to line him up for the spill damage. Oh my god, Bignum got demolished due to spill, but he will survive for now. Chips in the front lines. He's pretty fearless because of the global silence. Now coming off cooldown, he's going to get 2 kills for the team. Techno Roshan's going to get a 3rd onto Aloha Dance. Easily done. It's actually mind control to take the double kill. That's still a 1-for-3 trade. Oh, make it a 1-for-4 as HEHE is still in the enemy base. And he's still going to go for a little bit more. Is it really going to be 1-for-5? Big hit, not enough. He's going to not dive the fountain. It turns out the fountain is where he draw the line.
It's ridiculous how far they're diving. I mean, Living Armor helps out a little bit, but tier 4s are scary, to be honest. Still, 1-for-4, excellent fight once again for HEHE. Global Silence, nicely done. And just a Psyblades, really nicely done by Templar Assassin. And one thing we haven't really discussed and I didn't think about before this fight, but Stone Gaze, when you petrify people, oh, have a nice blink out before Bignum can damage him. But if you get petrified, you don't take any magic damage. And when you get petrified, Zeus is just useless.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the weird part. I think AlbumSheet's Zeus doesn't really fit into this game plan. I think Invoker would actually be
at least not first pick Zeus.
Yeah, this is the first pick Zeus, and it's like the worst hero in their lineup right now as far as what they want to do. Invoker would have been fantastic. Like, they would have had Sunstrike in order to deal with to combo with the Chronosphere, or a Wex. Just a Tornado would have been huge as well, but they're going to start a fight. Overgrowth going to be canceled by Chipsen, but they will get it onto 2. Now a Chronosphere going to connect onto 3 with the Thunder God's Wrath. Nihis is going to survive for a little while longer, but him and Chipsen are going to take a quick fall. Now the Death Ward is going to be channeled. HEHE does have an Aegis, and Mind Control is going to try to kite No Fear, but that's a risky proposition. He does not have his ultimate Abaddon. Now Mind Control is being chased down, but here comes the Melt Hit. That's going to be one that should be 2. Aloha Dance trying to teleport out. Will not make it out. Chomi is going to be able to TP up on the high ground. In the meantime, top lane, Chipsen is going to be fighting up against Inquisitor. Has bought back and will defend the tower. Has also to worry about an IO in 9 seconds to respawn, but it's yet again a 1 fight from HEHE. They are forced to buy back with a Treant, and that's less than ideal, but they collect quite a bit after that, getting the kills that they did, and especially if the Roshan as well.
Yeah, the Roshan is the most important part there. Of course, crunching numbers, AlbumSheet in theory came out a little bit ahead just because they are farther behind, so getting a little bit more of XP and gold, of course buyback as well from the Treant. But it's completely worth it. I mean, it's a support buyback, it's really nothing important. And Mind Control, he literally had 0 points of intention stolen before, like, what, 2 minutes ago when HEHE dived the tier 4s and almost went to the fountain. Suddenly has 10 points of it. So finally Silencer has been a part of those fights after he got his Aghanim Scepter. Ogre has his own Aghanims as well, double stun from him. It's so hard for AlbumSheet to fight, but I mean, since they haven't broken high ground or haven't been anywhere close to it really, AlbumSheet, they're still in the game because Chronosphere is always going to be scary with the Death Ward like we just saw in the previous fight. If they just had a couple more levels, Medusa, he isn't doing anything. He really needs the Manta Style to be finished.
Yeah, he needs that, and then he needs like 2 other items, because Manta Style is not going to be winning you any games anytime soon with the amount of pressure you're under. So it's near impossible for her to get that farm, but she needs to get it regardless. They're going to go for top lane. Bignum has a Time Walk and a Chronosphere, but he's being spotted out by Chipsen, who's going to lay down that Leech Seed. Now the Global Silence and relocate. They're going to relocate straight into a Chronosphere if they're not careful. Oh, well, they'll burst them down. Don't have to worry about that. That's a nice clean kill on Bignum. Once again, Global Silence being used for just 1 target, but it is a target down. Tower is going to be destroyed over towards mid, denied by the Witch Doctor. And, well, Fire Blast from Techno Roshan number 1. It's going to be buffed out mostly due to the heals of the Witch Doctor, but they can go for a second tower as well. So they're keeping up the pressure, and AlbumSheet, they just need like more space and more farm. They need like 30 minutes of uncontested farm, and then they'll be happy to fight, but HEHE, they're clearly not going to give that to them.
I mean, if they are, they should get their heads checked, really. So 30 to 15 at the moment. HEHE 20 minutes in, looking extremely strong. Chomi on the Zeus just doesn't have the biggest impact, or hasn't had it yet. Has level 2 ultimate though, so gonna be a little bit stronger than before. Hava doesn't get the melt hit as Techno Roshan. He's just on zoning duty, although he's pretty low. Big now goes in with a Chrono, catches 2. They're gonna get the Ogre immediately, but Hava in the backline is gonna kill off Aloha Dance. Nice Ogre of catches 2 as well. There's the Thundercrash trap, 1 for 1 so far. Big now, he's just on the run, man. He popped his Chrono, and that's all he can do in a fight.
Templar Assassin just hiding is going to blink out as well. The Ogre actually survived the entirety of that Chronosphere, and if it wasn't for the Zeus's ultimate, he would have survived entirely. Neheus, with the mech and the bottle, all the regeneration tools that the IO has, is keeping everyone alive from AlbumSheet, and they still have the Aegis on the Templar Assassin. Like, she was in the back line just causing havoc, and she wasn't being focused at all. Now they're going to take down the Raxes, or at least try to. With no Chronosphere, they can't afford to do so. Templar Assassin back up to full HP due to the IO's restoration. IO's running low on mana, however, and there are very few Arcane Boots. Hua's going to turn around and use his Aegis to try to kill off Aloha Dance. He will lose his Aegis, and he's going to actually drop as well. There is no Global Silence just yet. Hawa's going to come right back in, try to go for No Fear. The crit will not kill him off, and now Aloha Dance is going to chase forward with the cask onto Hawa. He's going to bounce and stun him twice. The lightning damage will not be enough. As Aloha Dance tries to kill off Templar Assassin, not a good idea. He's going to give his life for it. No Fear. Don't know what you're doing, but you can't be here either. It's not a good idea. Oh man, I guess they forgot that they had no HP, but they looked like they were gonna be forced out of the base, but then AlbumSheet just throwing them some freebies, just like, hey, here's a couple of supports that we don't really need anymore. Now they're gonna go right back in. They're going to blink forward and start working on the ranged Raxes. I think this is the correct decision from them. They're gonna secure that before the lightning damage flows, and Chip's gonna get dropped very low. Bigging him off to the side. Doesn't have a Chronosphere though. Mind control, kind of thinking about going for the ultimate, but the Thunder God's Wrath does come out and it will bring down the Treant as Neheus does return back in. He's probably going to evacuate someone, as you don't really just relocate in for nothing. No, he's just gonna come in, heal everyone, and then leave. They're only fighting with 2 right now, HEHE. They're going to get chased down. Bignum's going to get silenced, though. Templar Assassin has got to turn around and actually fight this one out. They do see him, and Silencer's damage will it be enough to solo kill this Faceless Void. It won't. They're both caught in the Chronosphere now. Here comes the IO and the Death Ward. Hua's going to block most of it, but it won't be enough as he is spotted out. There's a Gems on someone. Healing from the IO. Doesn't have a relocate to get this Templar Assassin out. They will lose both the Silencer and the Templar Assassin both. Maybe the IO's in a little bit of trouble as well. Has a tether in 1 second. If he could get out, no, he can't. It's a double kill for Inquisitor. And they hold the melee Raxes. HEHE being way too over-aggressive yet again.
Man, Ogre, where are you at? Where's the multicast skill coming out? Just huge win for AlbumSheet. They didn't lose the melee Rax. Yes, range Rax went down, but they're happy to trade the way they did, to be honest, at the moment. And Hava, he was so far ahead. He's still more than 200 gold per minute ahead of the next highest. And just farm-wise, he's absolutely sick. Has a finished up Daedalus now as well, plus another 1.5k gold. But they just can't allow to do mistakes like that. I mean, they've been so far ahead, yet they haven't played accordingly. They're just going in, not as a team. So often they've fought without having 5 there, really. I mean, Ogre Magi, he is a hero that definitely wants to brawl. I really don't see any reason for the Ogre to just be split pushing.
And these are mistakes that HEHE can so easily avoid. Like, it's not like they're getting caught with RP or something like that, and it's like, oh man, well, we couldn't really avoid that one, it just happens. They just have to group up as 5 and make sure that they always have at least 4 heroes if they're going to go for those pushes. They're going to try again, and it looks like this time it will be with a lot more heroes. Silencer does not have his Global Silence yet up, but I think they could wait for a little bit longer. They're going to have top lane pushing in. Their initiation power isn't that high aside from just blinking in randomly. They have to respect the Chronosphere. Faceless Void doesn't have that many items. Yasha, Mask of Madness, none too impressive, but HEHE, they're going to be knocking on the front door, and if they get a single multicast on someone, then I think that should be the trigger to jump in, or wait for Hawa to circle around. He does have an Invis rune, and there is no sentry detection within the Radiant base, although he's not going to go for it. Obviously, he doesn't know that fact, so we're at the stage where they're just going to be poking and prodding and waiting for someone to initiate. I don't know who's going to pull the trigger, but I think it's going to be the Void. They're going to Global Silence in. Force Staff forward. Bignum's going to go down in a hurry. Now Chomi's being double multicasted up. He is going to be Force Staffed out, and he will survive. Still is holding on to his ultimate, but that was a Global Silence used in exchange for buyback of the Void. I think HEHE have got to fall back right now. Roshan should be up soon, or it's in an unknown amount of time, but yeah, right now they can't really get that much done since the Faceless Void Chronosphere is still online.
How he completed decimated Bignum there. No way for him to survive. I think he even had the Mask of Madness popped at the time. 1 crit from the Daedalus of TA is just way too much. But I have to agree with you. They should back off really here.
Or they could dump a whole bunch of multicasts into the Medusa, but Techno Roshan is now completely out of mana. He'll always have that unrefined Fire Blast. That's just how it works. And Bignum always thinking about going for Hawa. He's going to get the Chronosphere out. Aegis is going to relocate him. No, he won't. He's going to walk right into the Chronosphere. He messes it up, but he does distract him for long enough. Now he's going to turn around, try to kill off Bignum. In the meantime, a two-man overgrowth down in the low ground. The Stone Gaze is out, however, so everyone has got to run. Chipsen might be dropping, and he will be the first one to die. Hawa trying to kill off No Fear. With a crit, he will do so. Now going to try to go for Ink Visitor. The damage from this Templar Assassin is absolutely disgusting. Look at that 800 damage crit. Trying for the spill damage, won't find it. Now the Ogre Magi coming around from the side. The Templar Assassin is going to get bolted down. Again, sticking around for way too long, but an unrefined Fire Blast will make the trade. It's once again the two supports. It's once again the two supports for AlbumSheet dropping, and HEHE deciding to go a little bit too aggressively once again. Mind Control was on the bottom lane once again.
Why do they just insist on taking fights like that, really? I mean, I understand Silencer farming at the very least a little bit better than Ogre, since Ogre, you really need that Tag Interceptor, and after that, just keeping on farming is a luxury, really, whereas Silencer, the Refresher Orb would make extreme sense for him. He's probably gonna have it as well, in about 1000 gold. Hopefully before the next fight, or if they get Roshan or something, as we never mind taking Roshan. He's gonna stun up Inquisitor, he's gonna come in as well. But the two of them just aren't nearly enough unless Ogre was level 16 and got like double quad multicast. Their play is just questionable. I mean, they are ahead, but XP, it used to be about 12,000, now it's only down to 4,000 lead for HEHE. Gold from 15 to 10, so still a pretty strong lead, but if they continue fighting like this lead just might be nothing all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is pretty much the easiest way to throw a game, is if you just take fights that are less than ideal, thinking you're very far ahead, when in actuality, though you are far ahead, you're only far ahead if you're fighting as a group. So this is HEHE's, like, their throw chance right now. Bignum's going to get jumped over on top lane. They're going to use Global Silence. Now the damage onto Bignum. That was just 2 hits, and he's already dropped down to 1/3 of his HP. He's going to get overgrown, and the Io Spirits should be able to kill him off, and they do. He does not have a buyback this time. There is no Global Silence. Refresher Orb's still a little bit off. Just needs a Ring of Health before he has that. Yet still, without the Chronosphere, I think he could still fight, assuming they're all together. Assuming they jump in as 5.
That was a little bit awkward, to be honest, by the Faceless Void. He started the TP but cancelled it immediately. I guess he thought that the meld right click will be too much as No Fear. Oh, the ultimate gets popped with like 1 meld hit plus 1 right click.
Now they're going to breach the high ground. No Fear is going to take a Fire Blast straight to the face. He will get the shield up. The Leech Seed is still there. Chips in. Just needs 1 more right click to kill him off, but he's going to take a Lightning Bolt for his troubles. The Fortification will hold the melee Raxus for now, but Techno Roshan is still throwing out these multicasts. Gonna land to Ink Visitor, not too much damage. The overcharge now onto Hawa as he does charge forward. He will be backing off after taking down the melee Raxus. That's a fine little pickup for HEHE. And I think they could go for a little bit more over towards mid. Without the fear of the Faceless Void, they can afford to do so if they really want to. Or they could not do anything. They have a Refresher Orb coming out for Mind Control, but really a minute down. They don't want to refresh that spell yet. So sticking around when Faceless Void is going to be respawning soon doesn't seem like the best idea for HEHE. Roshan is up, so getting that one, and they do know about this, should be the objective, and I don't think AlbumSheet can really contest that.
Yeah, it's probably the best choice for them. Just go for the Roshan, get the Aegis, and then go. I mean, Hawa, if he has the Aegis and the Temper Assassin, he can do whatever he wants, really. With the Roshan kill, might even go for a BKB. Might make the most sense. Or, unless he just wants to build up straight up damage. That's fine as well, to be honest. So he gets the Aegis for himself, Mind Control. He's gonna have double ultimate in 20 seconds. Are there any BKBs at all on AlbumSheet? Nope, just 1 Manta style, so Medusa is the only hero that can at the moment get rid of the Global Silence. And only one of them anyway.
Yeah, they have to play around this double Global Silence, which is going to be a pain. If they didn't have to worry about that, a level 3 Chronosphere and a Death Warded, an Aghanim Scepter Death Warded, my god, what happened there? An Aghanim Scepter Death Ward is going to be winning you a couple of fights here and there. Now an Aghanim Scepter on Zeus as well. These are really big skills that AlbumSheet have in theory, and they could use to fight with, but in actuality, the double Global Silence is going to deny most, if not all of that. Assuming Mind Control doesn't get caught with the Chronosphere, and look at his positioning, he's like so far behind the rest of his team. If he's caught with a Chronosphere, then that's got to be Void, like, you know, coming in from behind or something like that, which is, I guess, a possibility, but it's very unlikely. HEHE with the Aegis are going to be knocking on the front door, and now it's going to be up to this Faceless Void to start a fight. There is vision of him, though, so HEHE, they don't have the same exact thing to break open the mid lane like they did last time with the Global Silence pick off on the Faceless Void, but they could just blink in and go for it, I think. They're going to force that Chomi down to the low ground. Triple Fire Blast is going to land. That was actually not as damaging as I thought it would be. But Hawa's going to jump in. Chomi is now on death's door. Hawa's going to get stunned up. He has an Aegis. Now Global Silence #1. They're going to try to go for No Fear, but he does use his ultimate, and Global Silence #1 is down. The Faceless Void still has a Chronosphere. Hawa's going to jump right out away to safety. And that was probably the worst initiation that HEHE could have made. Now AlbumSheet are going to look to make something happen. They still have a Chronosphere. Big Num is going to get silenced. Now one Fire Blast is going to connect. Another two are going to connect as well. And Big Num's down. He does not have a buyback. And Hawa's going to start charging forward. Wants to go for Ink Visitor. Where's the Stone Gaze? Already used, but it's going to be the lightning damage from Chomi to kill off that TA. Nees is now in a lot of trouble. He's got to try to run away, but I don't know if he's going to make it. Doesn't have a tether to escape. He will be going down. HEHE, they lose 2 in exchange for 2, but they don't crack their axes. That damage from Chomi, absolutely monstrous. And the Templar Assassin without BKB can't really do anything to stand up against that.
Oh my god, once again he unable to do so. They even lost the Aegis there as well, so in all reality it was a 3-for-2. Technoroshan wants to go for something, 4-step forward, the multicast not gonna come out, and now slowed down by the Eye of Skadi. I don't think he can escape, no 4-steps from the supports to help him. And man, they are just giving away so damn much. I mean, Medusa has the Eye of Skadi finished, now a Talisman of Evasion on top of that. This Medusa actually might get to the scary phases in the game yet.
And that's just because HEHE have taken one too many crappy fights. Like, they could have avoided all of this if they just avoided those 2v5 fights over on the top lane when they were trying to take Raxes before. But now, their Templar Assassin is still stacked. At this point, she kind of has to go for a BKB, else the Zeus is just going to annihilate her. And that's really not what you want to get, just because you are up against a Chronosphere, a Medusa Stone Gaze, as well as a Death Ward. So it's not a great item to pick up, but I don't know if she has much of an option. She's just going to go straight damage with the Demon Edge. So it looks like there's an MKB in the Templar Assassin's future. Not too useful in this game. In fact, I don't think there's any dodge. Oh, there is dodge on the Medusa, so there's that. That should be about it, though. So MKB, this Templar Assassin is just going full on Glass Cannon. I think even like a heart would benefit her more.
In the way the Zeus just blew him up, you would maybe want to go for a BKB, of course. Death Ward is physical. The Stone Gaze goes through BKB, so I can understand his reluctance to just go for it, but the Zeus, he just literally got melted. Maybe he shouldn't have jumped in alone like that anyway. And IO, he has literally been able to just provide zero support for Templar Assassin when he's jumping in like that. Chomi though, he's gonna get caught. Will the 4-step be enough overgrowth to keep him in place? There's stun #1, stun #2, multicast come out. They finally get the kill. Global Silence stops the Death Ward. They get the Zeus kill, they get the Death Ward to come out. Chipsign gonna escape the Medusa illusions. But is this the opening for them now, the Death Ward being on cooldown?
I don't know if Death Ward is really what you have to be scared of. I mean, it's definitely a terrifying skill to be sure, but it's Chronosphere that's setting everything up, and at a certain point, Thunder God's Wrath as well, which is available to the Zeus if he wants to buy back. So this is going to be HEHE trying to make something, as you know, they're going to at the very least try to force the buyback from the Zeus, and they should be successful in doing so. I don't think AlbumSheet are going to want to take this without both the Death Ward and no Zeus, so it's going to be difficult for them to make this defense for sure without the Zeus, but HEHE, I don't think they could actually get anything done off this unless Hawa's just going to jump right in. Has an MKB completed. He's going to get stunned up once. Now the Global Silence #2 is going to come through. Overcharge as well. But who can they actually go for? Lohadense is going to crit down. That's him down. But Hoa now in a whole lot of trouble. He's going to dodge most of that though. But the Chronosphere is going to land onto 2. Big Num is going to try to go for this Io. Hoa's taking so much damage, he will go down in the end. Where's the rest of the teammates from HEHE? They're in the back, separated by the Chronosphere. Now Technoroshan is soon to fall. Lightning Bolt is going to kill him off. That's a triple kill for Chomi, as Mind Control and Chipsen have just got to bail out. They are going to TP out with the Silencer. He will be able to survive. Dream Protector looks like he will be able to live as well, but that's still a 3-for-2 trade. They were forced to buy back with the Zeus for sure, but still, HEHE, they are really struggling to take these second sets of Raxes, and Medusa crucially survives. She's that much closer to her butterfly now.
This game is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Medusa is #2 in net worth now. There was a point in this game early on where HEHE, with all 5 of their heroes, surpassed everybody on AlbumSheet. This, oh god, it feels like a distant memory by now. Aghanim Scepter Zeus with level 3 ultimate, another free K on top of that. Might even get the refresher orb if things continue like this. Like you said, Inquisitor, he's gonna have his butterfly finished as well. They're finally gonna be able to take down a tier 1 tower. God bless them. And there's just still so much gold potentially lying on the map with 4 other towers, 1 tier 1 and 3 tier 2s. This game just... I have a feeling that Medusa just might be even enough. Of course, they're gonna get the cheese and the Aegis after this now with the next Roshan probably. If they don't manage to just take it with that as well, Medusa is gonna be 6 slotted by that time, maybe even. I just have no idea how the hell this happened, and the focus fire on HEHE as well. I mean, jumping in and going for the Abaddon, who has the ultimate anyway, I just don't know if that was the best choice.
I mean, it's mostly just because they don't have many great initiation tools, so it's very hard to focus on someone when you're kind of just blindly blinking up to the high ground and hoping for the best. You obviously want to hit whoever you can get your hands on first, but sometimes those targets just aren't viable. If it's a Medusa with the Manta style split, if it's an Abaddon who's just not going to die unless you crit him through his borrowed time, which is possible, but very difficult to have happen. For HEHE, it's really the lack of initiation that's killing them off right now. They will get over that hump somewhat once the Silencer completes his Lincoln Sphere item, which should be a Sheep Stick. That is going to be one of the best ways to initiate that they could possibly ask for, but that's not going to come out in quite a long time. And without that, they really struggle to get in and actually find a great fight, especially when AlbumSheet are all bottled up into their base. Maybe all HEHE need is for AlbumSheet to get a little bit more confident and leave their base. Aloha Dance is going to take 3 multicasts up on the top lane, now relocate in from the IO, only the IO, another 4th and 5th multicast, another 6th multicast, and it turns, or Fire Blast. Turns out they need 6 to kill off that hero. About Big Num's going to jump onto Neas. He's going to relocate out just in time. They use the Global Silence, which saved the IO, but that's not how you want to be using Global Silence. He does have another one available, but they can't actually make a push here. Like, it's not going to be possible without double Global.
They're just delaying out this game by so damn long. It's not even funny if you're HEHE at the moment. And I actually did some stats digging. In Join Dota League Season 4, in the European Division 1 so far, there have been 10 games. This is the 11th, and only 1 has ended with a 2-0 scoreline. So, this game, HEHE, if they throw this, it's going to be the second game out of 11 to end 2-0, but I still have just expectations for it to end 1-1 as well.
I don't know. HEHE seemed to be intent on throwing this game, and it seems like they're doing a pretty good job at it. I mean, they have Templar Assassin with 3,600 gold. She is a very devastating late-game hero. Silencer with his technically infinite scaling is going to be dangerous as well, but he's just not farming fast enough to compete with the Medusa and all the other heroes from AlbumSheet that are staying so relevant in this game. HEHE, I think if they were going to win this game, they would have won it already. I mean, it's still possible for them if AlbumSheet really screw up, if double Global Silence is used perfectly, but so far that just hasn't been the case. So HEHE, I feel like they're behind right now, and though the numbers might not say that, I feel like the skills and the hero choice definitely affects that fact.
Well, they're just gonna have to rely on getting Roshan, Cheese, and Aegis and hope that's gonna be enough. I mean, Cheese up on IO, gonna be an awesome tool for them to work with. It's pretty much gonna mean that they're gonna have triple lives if they can use them properly. But of course, giving them time, Bignum, he's gonna have his own meta style. So the first Global Silence he can just completely shrug off. That's the one good point for HEHE that has happened in the last fights, is that although Medusa has gotten sick farm, at the very least Faceless Void has died in every single of those engagements, I think. So he doesn't have his meta style quite yet. But man, HEHE really, I completely understand where they're coming from, that if HEHE are gonna win this game, they would have done so already. And oh, they want to go for the courier. Would have been the butterfly, but they're just not fast enough. HEHE once again came in solo. Didn't bring in anybody with a blink there. For example, Templar Assassin just blink, one right click and courier down. And nice micro, of course, by AlbumSheet as well. Techno Roshan gonna force staff himself straight through the courier, so it's gonna survive.
Yeah, now it's on the safe side of the trees, and there's really no way that HEHE can get this unless they really, really want it. Chipsin has a blink dagger.
They really do.
Okay.
Oh.
That would have been too much, I think. That would have been just a little bit too much. But they have a Sheep Stick on the Silencer. They still can technically farm up for a couple more items. Like Templar Assassin has one item slot left to fill, and Silencer has 2 item slots left to fill. So these are items that they can choose to wait for, but I don't know, maybe just going for Roshan and then trying for a desperation push is going to be the name of the game. And if AlbumSheet make that defense, then the crackback is going to be very vicious. Buyback status should be up on most heroes, up on the TA, not up on the silencer, however. He is very poor just after completing that sheep stick, but he does have an Aegis, so he's guaranteed to get some global silences off, or at least he should. And they also have a cheese, which is going to be... Where's the cheese? It's going to be handled by the IO. Yeah, he's going to pick it up.
Oh, I would have liked still the Nipper Assassin to pick up the Aegis, to be honest, and just not blink in to go for the kills, but siege. Just siege the freaking tower. If the Aegis on TA, he can bring down the tower down so damn fast. Man, look at the damage of him with the refraction up as well. He's hitting for 450 damage. Well, 448, but close enough.
Now we have desperation push number 1. The other pushes were, I think, them thinking that they're ahead, but now they definitely can take this fight, assuming they get good initiation, but it's going to be very hard. Mind Control is in a bad position right now. Though he is invisible, he needs to be so far behind in order to protect himself against that Chronosphere, because if he gets severed, that's his Aegis down, and global silences are going to be extremely delayed. The rest of HEHE, they're going to be poking and prodding. They're going to be annihilating the creep waves as they come out. Maybe it's time to just slide up to the top lane and try to get the jump on Bignum or something like that, but it's going to be hard pushing down this bottom lane because the creep waves are going to be just completely destroyed by Inquisitor. And without creep wave, what could you do?
Oh, the Chrono comes out. They're
gonna go for gets a jump in onto Hawa. There is a short relocate out, going to pull him straight out of there. Global Silence in exchange for a Chronosphere. They have another Global Silence available, and Mind Control is going to hex up Inquisitor. He should hex up Inquisitor. Why are you not hexing? There he is. Finally, he's very low on mana, but do they have enough damage to kill him off? Double Global Silence now as Chipson does jump in. There's no follow-up for this one. That's 2 Global Silences and an Overgrowth. They might be able to kill off Chomi, but he gets Force-Staffed out. The tower is in trouble, however. HEHE have now established themselves in a pretty good position to take this tower at the very least. But AlbumSheet, I think they can still make a defense. Chomi's going to force that forward, jump forward from the faces forward. Mind Control is going to get bashed down. He will be brought down. That's an Aegis down. The rest of HEHE, they just have to run. IO's going to teleport back in, but he doesn't actually have travels or anything like that. Mind Control is going to be focused down, and that's his death. HEHE, they don't have anything else. They use their global silences very poorly, and though they do get a lot of damage onto this tier 3, that's all they get.
There's just no focus fire at all. They're going for different targets at all times. I mean, Techno Roshan, he got the perfect multicast almost onto the Medusa. I mean, his mana shield was completely drained. If only Hawa was close enough to get in the right clicks. I mean, he's really their only source of damage at this point in time. Silencer doesn't have enough intelligence for the Clays of Wisdom to do all that much. Radiant Courier, though, it got sniped with a Sacred Relic on it. Oh, man. Oh, never mind. It was a Mystic Staff and Void Stone. Wrong Courier checked out. It's going to be Abyssal Blade for the TA. I think it's a pretty nice item choice. Some extra strength, some tankiness, lots of damage, and just the pure lockdown to be able to just blow somebody up. But it's the sheep stick of Inquisitor that got denied with the courier kill.
That's not really going to be a huge deal since he doesn't have enough gold to complete it anyway. He's missing an ultimate orb, which is not in the base. So, yeah, it's 3 minutes where he's going to have to farm up his item anyway. Again, not going to be a huge deal. They are going to be happy that they finally got that courier, and they're going to be happy that this Templar Assassin is finally 6-slotted, but this is a glass cannon as far as glass cannons come. I mean, he has no survivability items at all in his inventory. This Templar Assassin just wants to do damage. Maybe you could replace the Desolator with something that hurts a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe an Assault Cuirass is just better overall for the team, but still, Templar Assassin can't grow anymore, and Medusa, even if she completes her Sheep Stick, she still has Remove Aquila to sell. She still will get bigger. And HEHE, they're already struggling up against Medusa as is, so it's going to be really hard for HEHE after dropping so many of those fights.
It's just the support's not getting any kind of farm at all, almost. I mean, they went for Boots of Travels now on IO as well as the Ogre Magi, but just imagine, for example, them having a couple of Heaven's Halberds already. It's pretty late into the game, so in theory you should have been able to farm them up. What would Medusa do when you Heaven's Halberd, disarm him? Just nothing, no damage almost, all of a sudden. And without Medusa dishing out damage, not that scary. Of course, by now, Medusa's, even the illusions are pretty damn tanky, and in the last fight, it took HEHE so damn long to just take care of the illusions only.
Yeah, well, Chipson is going to be going for a Heaven's Halberd. It is going to be ages before he actually has that one completed, but I think Halberds and Sheep Sticks should be the name of the game right now for HEHE. Their supports, they need just a little bit more, like get more auras, get Shiva's Guards, Assault Cuirass, stuff like that. They have a Vlad's and they've had that one for a very long time, so I like that they've done that, but that's just not enough right now. Their IO is going for a Halberd as well as the tree, so eventually they'll have these items up, but they're not getting any farm because the Templar Assassin is clearing all the creep waves. So these supports, though they are going for the right item, they're not going to get it up. No fear. Oh, that was very dangerous. He could have died right there, even with borrowed time.
If Hawa had gotten the crit, it would have been enough because it doesn't activate if you die from that one right click already. Unless you get to activate it just before the right click connects or something and you're really fast on it. Hawa though, he's trying to tank things up. Bloodlust comes out as well. He does hurt Pignum though, gets the Chrono onto the Templar Assassin. Do they get the relocate? There's the Global Silence Inquisitor, gets the Manta, nice overgrowth though. They can't get out anymore. Double Global comes out. Hawa blinks him, but just not enough damage, not enough lockdown. They're gonna get the stun onto Pignum after the Hex. They get the one hero finally down. There's no buyback. Death Ward, they need to kill Aloha. Oh my god, Hawa, he's gonna lose his life. He has buyback though. 2 heroes down for AlbumSheet. Is he gonna buy back? Does he want to waste it?
Man, Templar Assassin eating all of that Death Warrior damage. She did a lot of damage in that fight, dropped Inquisitor's mana pool pretty much down to 0, but she just couldn't land those final blows. And AlbumSheet, they actually hold. Like, it's a 2-for-1 in favor of HEHE. It's a much better trade than they've been getting lately, but still, it's not good enough to break the base. This Templar Assassin, I mean, she did pretty much all she can, but the rest of the team just not able to capitalize. The double Global Silences have been less than stellar. I mean, the Global Silences lined up well with the Overgrowth, which is supposed to be a good thing, but they just had no follow-up for when they actually used those skills. Like, the heroes on AlbumSheet were disabled, were silenced, they weren't moving, they weren't casting any spells, but they also weren't dying, and that's just where HEHE fell short in that fight. And now it's going to be another 2 minutes before they have their Global Silence, and it looks like AlbumSheet, they want to crack back, at the very least force a buyback from the Templar Assassin. This Medusa is freaking scary right now. She has a sheep stick, so one hero from HEHE can't do it. She's not going to push it out, though. This is AlbumSheet playing extremely passively and extremely cautiously, knowing that one dropped fight is going to be buybacks, and buybacks means no more item progression.
What do you think, for example, if HEHE, I mean, so far, AlbumSheet, they've gone for the Chronosphere onto the Templar Assassin, I think at least for the last 3 fights, if not more. What if HEHE's just, on the IO, went for the relocate, but instead of relocating the Templar Assassin back, just go forward to the back lines of AlbumSheet instead, so that he can actually dish damage? Because so far, every time they relocated him out, he has been unable to just get back into the fight, whereas HEHE are using all of their other spells on the other heroes at the same time, whereas Templar Assassin can't really damage. Maybe if they just went for a slightly more aggressive route, but a tactically aggressive route, it could work out.
That's a very hard line to go down, but if they do catch onto it, I think that's the best thing that they could do. Like, you don't want to do that because it's not logical. It's like, oh, I'm in trouble, I better relocate my hero and then put him into more trouble, but it's going to let him actually get close enough to do the damage, and I think at the end of the day, that's what they need the Templar Assassin to do. Just start right-clicking in a fight and never stop right-clicking. It's going to be hard for HEHE to make that call, but if they do find that line, then it'll benefit them so much, because as you said, Templar Assassin is struggling to stick onto her targets, even with the Abyssal Blade, so she just needs a little bit of help from the IO, and that's the best help the IO can give.
Okay, so Over has picked himself up a plate mail. Might be either a Shiva's card or AC. AC would be pretty great. Shiva's card, of course, wouldn't really be a bad item either. Anything other big? Treant Protector, only 100 gold away from the Heaven's Halberd, unless he wants to save for buyback, but I think Heaven's Halberd just straight off purchase might be a little bit better. They do not want to take this any later than this. I mean, 48 minutes is way too late anyway, as... Oh, Ayo, he relocates out in such a bad position. In vision of the enemy, goes back to base. Oh, but he got the blink out. He's actually safe. So, man, thank God for that. He relocated back to base just to pick up the Heaven's Halberd. Almost paid with his life, though.
Well, the fact of the matter is he didn't, and now he has the Halberd up. The Medusa does have one split, but she's not going to use that to dispel Halberd. She's going to want to use it to dispel a Global Silence. They're going to start onto Techno Roshan. The Death Ward is doing pretty much nothing. There it is. As the damage finally does come through, the Ogre Magi is going to be brought down. Now AlbumSheet Are they really going to go for this one? They have to worry about the bottom lane. Hawa is still 6 slot. He's going to get sheeped up, however. It doesn't matter how many item slots you have. You can't protect yourself from a sheep. He's going to get overcharged, and he will try to run away. It looks like the heal from the IO is going to be just enough to keep this Templar Assassin safe, unless they get another stun onto her. There's a lightning bolt slowing her down for just a little bit, but they don't have enough sticking power. Now Global Silence number 2 as they go for Bignum in the back end. That's going to be Silencer taking that kill home. But again, these Global Silences for just 1 kills, they've been used like that for the entire game, and at this point, it might be worth it, but I don't know. They need to get a little bit more, although Faceless Void doesn't have buyback, so it may end up being good for HEHE, as they're going to go for both mid and bottom lane. That's 6 multicasts onto Inquisitor, but he does survive, and he does now pop his Stone Gaze, going to go straight for Mind Control. It's not really relevant here to kill at this point, since he has no Global Silence. Another Fire Blast into Inquisitor. In the meantime, bottom lane, the Templar Assassin is going to try to kill off the tower, but his Wisp is dying very quickly. Hawa's going to try to peel off No Fear and Aloha Dance both. The relocate out from the IO is going to buy him a little bit more time, but Hawa's still in the area, still taking quite a bit of damage. Going to turn around for No Fear, spill some damage onto Aloha Dance. Here comes the IO, going to teleport right back in just to get a little bit more health into Hawa. He's going to relocate back into his original spot, though, and that's going to end up killing him off. Yeah, well, no, he's going to survive for a little bit longer. One more arrow shot, not going to do it. 8 HP. Really? Are you going to survive on 8 HP? Did that just happen? He's going to live. In the meantime, mid lane, Techno Roshan's going to try to kill off a range Rax. He gets it down, but that's not really that relevant. I think AlbumSheet have held yet again. I think that's what happened. And it seems like I lost Coucher, so...
Oh no, I'm here, man. My bad. But he actually survived purely because of that Heaven's Halberd. It dodged the last right click of the Medusa there. And, man, Techno Roshan, admirable attempt. He got the range Rex, but like you said, doesn't really matter this much at all. I mean, Medusa, he doesn't care about this, like, mega creeps. If it would be super-sized mega creeps, whatever, if you get triple Rex, then yes. Roshan, though, was taken out by Hawa himself. Cheese and Aegis both on the ground, though. He just killed off Roshan and left the bounty there.
And he's going to sell his Desolator and try to pick up a Deso. In the meantime, Courier, not again. Nias is going to pick that one off.
Oh no! Freaking no! Oh no! This cannot be. I think this game is over pretty much if the cheese and the Aegis is for AlbumSheet now.
But the IO is relocated here as well. Hawa's going to jump in and get hexed immediately. There's a Chronosphere awaiting this Templar Assassin. Is there a Global Silence? There is in 1 second. Oh my god. Guys, why is he AFK? Why is anyone AFK?
Okay, so... Wait, he's AFK, but Silencer was the one unpausing? Oh, never mind. Okay, Medusa resumed the game. What the hell?
What is happening? What is happening?
Holy crap.
Are we resorting to diplomacy? Is that what this is? Guys, why are we fighting? Just stop and let's talk about this. This is barbaric.
Okay, so... There's
a real PJSalt going on right now.
This is the weirdest situation, really. They're probably pretty on tilt, although I somewhat understand the relocate that IO did, trying to go for the Courier. I'm not too sure what it would have purchased. Looking at the current gold, Medusa has 5.3, so might have been something for her. Maybe something like a Satanic, I don't know. Maybe straight of Rapier time. But leaving the cheese and Aegis on the ground, it's just bad decision making.
All right, so wait, let's see what happened. The Phaseless Void grabbed the Aegis, and then Templar Assassin immediately paused. And then Medusa unpaused, and then it was paused shortly after. The pause didn't actually last for very long, so I don't really know what they're arguing about. What is...
I mean, Templar Assassin, he went AFK, but I think he had right-click the Roshan Pit area before or something. Game got unpaused.
So he should be like up the hill right now.
Yeah.
North.
So he didn't mean to run into that. Although, I'm not too sure, but didn't he blink in there?
No, he has Blink Dagger on a hit cooldown. Are they really going to let this Templar Assassin go? AlbumSheet are such gentlemen. They're going to kill off the IO. Kill the IO. That's not part of the deal.
Yeah.
They've altered the deal. Pray they don't alter it further. Hawa gets to live, and I feel like that's the diplomatic solution there. Still, they escape with the Aegis. Do they get the cheese as well? Yes, they do. They get the Aegis and cheese from the Roshan. That was really nice of HEHE, and really nice of AlbumSheet. Look at this sportsmanship.
I think he this kind of sealed their fate now. How the hell could he not close out this game? I just can't wrap my head around that. They were so far ahead. I mean, in gold, it's still 10k, but this late, it doesn't mean anything in Rapier time, man. Rapier.
I think Hoa is a little bit salty, guys. I think that's what's going on. But Ink Visitor, the doctor is in. He has no cheese. He doesn't have any room for it. So if he goes down, that could very easily be HEHE taking this game back. But Ink Visitor is going to plow the top lane forward. He's going to annihilate the tower. And is he going to stop here? They're going to fortify this one because it's a free fortification. Might as well use it. Are they going to keep going? It looks like they are. This Medusa is fearless, but she shouldn't be. She needs her teammates there with the Chronosphere and the Death Ward if she really wants to survive. In the meantime, Chomi mid lane is going to get hit with the Fire Blast. Only one so far as Hoa does jump in. Lots of damage on this Zeus, but really not enough. More Fire Blast not going to come through as Witch Doctor is forced into the 10-second PKB. Here comes the Abaddon from the side. Hoa and Techno Roshan are going to get pincered a little bit as No Fear does charge forward. What could he really do here, though? It's an Abaddon. He can't really do much. Blue, where's Blue? Here's Ink Visitor. They're going to throw the ultimate of Zeus just to spot out where HEHE is. They're going to blink forward for Bignum, but they do get the Global Silence off purely defensively. HEHE, they can't really afford to fight now. They have another Global Silence, yes, but only one Global Silence at this point is not going to cut it. And hell, is Global Silence even relevant anymore? Like, Ink Visitor has a Divine Rapier. He doesn't care.
I think this Medusa will kill everything and everybody inside. There's just no way around this. They're gonna get the Hex onto Hoa as well. Will it be enough though? They're completely ignoring the Temper Assassin. They don't care. Finally, they're gonna go in it. There's the Global Silence number 2. Chronosphere used, but it's not enough. Bignum, he's dropping low. Overgrowth is there as well. They're gonna kill the Faceless Void, but he had the Aegis. Mind Control. He's just petrified. Gonna be taken out. He has buyback, but none of the ultimates ready. Bignum, multicast number 1. Not the second one though, and the damage just isn't enough. Hoa in the meantime in the enemy base. I don't know what he's doing there, but he's not going to TP out. Or is he? Oh god. Butterfly almost saved him.
That's Templar Assassin down with buyback. Silencer has buyback as well, but they're going to chase forward looking for whoever else they could find. Treant has a blink dagger, so they shouldn't be able to get him, but they do cancel the blink. Bignum now going to look for a bash. Chipsen is going to get Hex, and he's going to go down as well. This tree is not going to survive. Nihis is going to relocate. No, he's going to blink out and teleport away, but that's a 3-0 album sheet. They take out a couple of heroes, and now they still have a Divine Rapier. Medusa was not pressured at all in that fight. HEHE don't have a single Global Silence with this upcoming push. This might be Rax's for album sheet, actually.
Yeah, looking at the graphs now as well, XP gonna be zeroing out because Temper Assassin, he's been capped at for quite some time now. Gold, also a 6,000 difference only. And I just think this is more or less game without the Global Silence. I'm not too sure they can defend. Aloha Dance is gonna have his Death Ward, level 3. PKB with the Aghanims 10 seconds away. Roshan, Techno Roshan that is, he's going to try to defend, but gets the one multicast. The second one comes out as well. He's doing whatever he can, but this late into the game, the multicast, they're not just impactful anymore.
And the big Ink Visitor is really the one who needs to be focused right now. You have to burn through that mana if you want to get to his health, and Death Ward's being channeled just to buy Medusa the space. They're going to say, screw the Raxes, we're going to go for the jugular right now. Medusa with the Divine Rapier is going to be pretty good at killing these off, forcing the buyback from the Templar Assassin. Medusa's going to take one of the tier 4s. The second one's soon to follow, but Hoa does jump in, annihilates Bignum. Now going to get Hex onto Ink Visitor, and if he goes down, this Medusa might end up losing this game, although Hoa is going to be forced to turn tail and run because of the Stone Gaze. He's now going to decide to turn around and chase forward. Overgrowth does not hit onto Ink Visitor, but Hoa is going to continue to give chase with the bashes. Multicast number 2. Ink Visitor is going to die, and he loses the Divine Rapier. That's snatched up by the Templar Assassin. They've taken a set of melee Raxes and one tier 4, but they lost the Divine Rapier. Medusa is going to respawn. Still, she's very powerful. Nihis is going to try to mess with Chomi, but no, it's not going to happen. The ultimate Thunder God's Wrath gets canceled by Global Silence. That was an amazing Global Silence from Silencer. He saved Nihis, and that might have just saved the game for HEHE. Can they actually reverse 322 this and end up winning this game? I don't know, but it seems like now with the Divine Rapier TA, anything seems possible.
God, how happy am I at the moment to actually have cast it or have been able to cast this game. Hoa, he's trying to charge down the line. He's doing so much damage. He's hitting for 800 without the crits already. 2.1k crit almost. They're gonna have to back off. The glyph came out. They don't have the second Global Silence, only in 5 seconds time. This game is absolutely out of control. No buybacks on album sheet. They had to use 4 of those. Roshan still not up for at least another 2 minutes and 15 seconds or so. But they are trying to scout things out. Is there a gem on AlbumSheet? Yes, No Fear still is in possession of one. But how if we find somebody, Inquisitor, Abyssal Blade, just crit through him, maybe. They want to go in, show me, but they see Techno Roshan. Aloha Dance is gonna go almost down. There's the Chrono, catches two. There's the Global Silence, Manta out. Death Ward bounces through as well. And he's gonna be taken care of so damn fast. Or is he somehow still alive? The body block's not enough. Thundercast Rap Hava, he's gonna lose his Rapier, maybe? Yes, Divine Rapier on the ground once again, and no buybacks for HEHE.
So AlbumSheet, they get the double ultimate off from Zeus. They get a nice 2-man Chronosphere, and Global Silence was not relevant there because as soon as the silence landed, Witch Doctor popped the BKB and started channeling a Death Ward, and that was actually a full channel, was hitting pretty much everyone. And Silencer, he's in desperation mode right now. He's gonna try to take down the rest of the base by himself, but Shomi's here to defend. Can't really do too much with the Silencer, in fact. Silencer might get a free kill right now. Silencer actually isn't hitting that hard. He actually doesn't have that much. He's gonna try to base race, but this isn't going to work. This is a Medusa now with the Divine Rapier. That's a good game, and AlbumSheet take it 2-0.
So, the 2-0, it actually happened. Of course, the pause thing, there's gonna be a lot of controversy about this, but AlbumSheet, just well played by them. They held on, and HEHE, to be honest, had they won this game, by the way they were throwing this away, fight after fight after fight, I'm not too sure if they would have even deserved the win, really.
Oh yeah, I'm completely on board with that. Like, it was looking pretty good for them, and then they just started taking terrible fights, and then they just got worse and worse and worse, and they gave Medusa time to get 6-slotted, and that's never really good. So, guys, that's it for now. AlbumSheet are going to take the first 2-0 that I've seen of jDL4 over HEHE. A little bit of disagreement there with pausing action. I personally don't think it would have mattered at all, but I think Hawa would disagree. Regardless, we're done here on HeflaTV 1. If you enjoyed the cast, then be sure to hit that follow button. Also follow us on Twitter and Facebook.com/HeflaTV. And then, well, that's where you're going to be finding all the notifications when we go online. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Coucher. We've been your casters. We've enjoyed the games. Hope you did too. Any final thoughts, man?
Man, Temper Assassins, goal per minute, 722. It's the new 322, man.
All right, guys. We're out. Thanks for watching. GG.